Hello. Today we're going to talk about asking for help and not biting that hand that's offering it. What am I talking about? Oh, I cannot be the only one that has done this. So let's just talk about this. You say, I need help. I'm up to my eyeballs with jobs and I need help. And then you hire somebody and then you give them like all of the non-brain using jobs possible, like sweeping the floor, taking the trash out, which are all things that still need to be done. But if you don't trust them with some other things, you're still going to always be too busy and up to your eyeballs with jobs to do, and you can't hold on to everything and be successful at the same time. It just doesn't work. So how do we get around that, and how do we get away from that when we have to be a little bit more open-minded? So I'll tell you that I started out with my business and I didn't have any fears of anybody stealing recipes from me or stealing supplies from me, and yet it happened even though I gave them full reign. So is it going to happen to you? Yes. 99.9% of the time somebody's going to do that to you. Is it the end of the world? No. Did we survive? Yes. Will you survive? Yes, you absolutely will. Can they duplicate what you're doing? No, not likely. And I'll tell you how I know this, because we wouldn't tell customers when other people were baking stuff, but they would come in and they would eat it and they would say, somebody else baked this. We totally can tell because we know that when you bake it, it tastes different. So that I know that, okay, they can steal my stuff, they can try anyways, but they're not going to make it like me. But I also had to teach my customers that I'm not always going to be the one to make these things because I'm busy and I have a lot of other things to go through. So we had to get into our brains that not everybody's going to do everything exactly the way we say, but we can try. We do tell our employees, hey, I want you to mix it exactly the way it says on the recipe. Do not change anything. Follow the recipe to the T. If you do not, it will not work the way that we want it to work, and you will find yourself not working here if you can't follow directions. On that note, if a mistake happens, mistakes are mistakes. They're not called on purposes. They're called mistakes because they're on accident. So if a mistake happens, don't be the person that's like, I knew I should never have given that to you. You will never do this, or at least it'll be a very long time before I ever trust you to do this job again, and walk off. If you do that, they not only will begrudgingly do the rest of their jobs that you ask them to do, but they will also be fearful to try anything because they'll be so afraid that the next mistake you may set them on fire and throw them out with the trash. So you don't want to set that into motion either. You do want to say, hey, this is what happened. And I'll give you an example. My niece, she's really good at baking. I don't know what happened, but one time she just accidentally swapped out something for baking soda or baking powder. I don't remember which one it was, but the batch came out really wrong and we had to salvage it doing something else. And so I said, take me through the steps of what you did. And we weren't doing this to embarrass her, but I wanted to see what she did so I could see what happened. And what happened was somebody had swapped the baking soda and the baking powder and the salt, and they didn't put them back in the spots. So I called everybody over, and I said, it is very important that you put everything exactly where you got it from. Don't switch it around. Don't change it. Don't do anything like that, because out of habit, we are grabbing things to make our stuff, and that's gonna mess people up. But we also told everybody that was baking, it's also your responsibility to double check what you're grabbing, because somebody could accidentally put it in the wrong spot and we don't want something to happen. I could have been a total asshole and embarrassed my niece and ruined my relationship with her by saying, you know, I knew that I should just left you on the decorating team because that's what you do best. And I thought I would branch you out and try something new, and it backfired, and I don't think that we should have you here anymore. You know, we've also have had people put salted butter in our frosting. We don't use salted butter in our frosting. I know lots of bakers that do. I choose not to. I choose to use unsalted butter and to add a little pinch of salt in at the end. And it was really, really salty. When our baker had made the frosting, I was like, this is terrible. I don't like this at all. You had to have used the salted butter. She's like, no, I did not. And I said, show me the butter packages. So she pulled them out, and she's like, oh my God, they totally are salted butter. I'm so sorry. So I said, all right, not the end of the world, but we can't put this on the cake because it's not our signature taste, and the customers will be quite upset. So we put it in the freezer, and we turned it into something else. We made, I think, like a salted cookie or something, and it was a wonderful combination with that. Now, because I saw that she was already frazzled, even though I didn't yell at her, I didn't embarrass her in front of anybody else, I had her go outside and do a different job. I had her go shake the sign outside for a little bit to bring customers in until she could collect herself, because I needed her to get back to work and do stuff, and I needed her to not have that self-doubt and that frustrated feeling. So I needed her to go chill out, calm, cool, and collect. And when she came back in, I asked her if she was ready to try again. And the look on her face was like, you're going to actually let me try again? Well, yes, because I'm busy and I don't have time to do your job and the things that I need to do at the same time. So you also have to learn that when they make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. It's okay. And your prices should reflect those kind of mistakes happening, as well as waste and all kinds of other things. Now, if you're worried about employees stealing your recipes, which they're going to, it's just the nature of the beast, you can do things like pre-make your batches and then have the recipe say, okay, go get whatever, how many cups of this base, and then add this, and this to it, and here's the baking time, and here's the pans to follow. Now, in our shop, we have our bases made, but we also have their full recipe out, so if they steal it, they're gonna steal it. Not like we're hiding anything, because I need my employees to also be able to make the base when we run out. I need my employees to be able to follow my directions, and I need my employees to not feel like I have them under a magnifying glass or a security camera is constantly watching them, so that they have that feeling of, I belong here. I'm trusted, I'm a valuable asset here, and I'm important. If you micromanage your people, then you're going to have a problem. They're not going to want to try to do anything, and they're going to feel stifled, and you're going to cut the creativity down. Also, if somebody comes up with a suggestion, it would be wise of you not to be like, you have no idea what you're talking about. I own this business. I am the one that's going to do this. I built it from the ground up. You have no idea how much money I put into this, how much time I've spent doing it. Well, yeah, you know, they don't really know and they don't really care. What they do care about is that they have an idea, and as a human being, you should be able to take their suggestion and think about it before you respond. You could say, you know what, I thought about it, but you know, we tried this before and it didn't really work that way, so why don't you come back to me with a different idea? Or that was a great idea. Why don't we try that? And you'll see the people will be like, oh my gosh, see, I am valuable. I am worthy. I am important. I'm a part of this team. In order to have a good flowing team, you have to give them a sense of ownership. I'm not saying like make them a part of the business, you know, give them a percentage of the profit, but you do have to give them some ownership. Let them feel like they have something to say and some value to give. And also, you will find that your family members that have nothing to do with your business will also have some suggestions. Listen to them. And you will also find that if you're a family-run business like we are, that your family members will be the first to say, no, I don't want to do anything different because we've always been doing this, point in case. My mom and I, we do a ton of royal icing cookies, but the royal icing that we were using when we would make it, it looked nice, but it took forever to dry. So we would have to have people do their orders like 2, 3, 4 days in advance because it would take so freaking long to dry so that we could package them. So I played around with the recipe and I found one and it dried in 7 minutes. 7 minutes. So that you could touch it. You could package it and it would be done. You could scrape it. You could do all kinds of stuff with it. It was amazing. So I tell my mom, I'm all excited. I'm like, Mom, I have this great new way to fix our royal icing so that we can get done in way less time. And she's like, I don't like it. I'm like, what do you mean you don't like it? You haven't even heard what I'm saying. You haven't even tried it. I don't like it. What's wrong with what we've been doing? I've been doing it for a long time that way. We've never had any issues. I just don't like it. So, all right, fine. If you don't want to try it, that's fine. I'll make you your batch the way you want, and I'm going to make mine, and we'll see, you know, whatever wants to be done, you can do. So I went on, and I did mine, and she was getting her decorations done, and she comes back over, and she tries it, and it dries, and then she goes to decorate it, and she's like, oh my gosh. That is amazing. It cut my work down by almost 3 hours. I'm like, yeah, see, it works. So it's not always going to be an easy concept when you bring something new in. But if you have that reaction when an employee or a customer, God forbid, says, I think you should do it this way, you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. Like when our customers said, we think you should make your own ice cream because the ice cream you have isn't the best. And I was thinking, what is wrong with you people? It's organic. It's a good ice cream. I like it. But after, you know, one person turned into 10 and 10 people turned into 100 people, were like, maybe there is something here. We were also getting aggravated with our supplier and we couldn't get the flavors we wanted. So we're like, let's just try it. Well, now we're very well known for our ice cream that's made here on site. It tastes different. It tastes good. Made with real ingredients. We have total control over it. We make small batches so we don't have stuff sitting in our freezer. It works. But if I had the attitude of, you're just a customer, you don't know what you're talking about, that would not have been well. We also routinely take customer requests on different desserts. Like when they say, I had this dessert when I was a child and I love it and I really, really would like you to recreate it. We could say, no, we're going to do it our way and move on. Now we do add a little twist to it and turn it into it. Like our European tea cakes, which formerly were called Russian tea cakes, but we're not happy with Russia, so we changed them to European tea cakes. Besides that, they're not really from Russia. We decided to make some European tea cakes for our customer who has been ordering them nonstop the whole 7 years that we've been open. She has probably ordered close to 1,000 Russian tea cakes from us. And we threw in a little twist on ours. And she loves them. And so now every time she calls, she says, I would like my Russian tea cakes and I want you to put the walnuts and the syrup in just the way you have been and don't change anything. Because we also could change out the nuts, but you know, we've never had anybody request that, so we've not done that. But I could have been like, I don't want to do those cookies. Those aren't cookies that I've been doing. That's not the cookie I envisioned doing. I never thought I would do that. I never thought I would do pastries when my mom wanted to do pastries. I never thought I would do candy when my dad was like, I think you should start doing your own candy. I never would have done any of those things had I held on too tightly to my own ideals and had I bit their hand when they were like, hey, we're giving you some suggestions. People would be like, oh, no, we're not talking to you about your business. You're too uptight. You're too controlling. You're too nasty. You're too bitter. You're too stubborn. We're just not going to do it. I also have taken suggestions from my youngest son because he's worked in a kitchen. He is a chef. So he does understand what needs to be done. And so when he would come through and he would be like, you know what, this would make my job so much easier if in my kitchen I could do this and this. And I was like, really? Okay, yeah, sure. So we did take some of his suggestions. I could have been like, I'm the mother, you're the son, sit down, shut up, and do as I ask you to do when I ask you to come in and help me. Instead, I thought about what he said and I started implementing some things. Not everything, but some things worked, some things I thought make total sense, and it's better. So, don't bite the hand that feeds you. If you're saying, I need help, hand some things off, explain what you want to be done, explain how you would like it to be done, and then leave them to it. Don't look over their shoulder, don't micromanage them, don't be pacing around, don't be putting doubt in their minds before they even start the job. You want to send them in feeling fully confident that they can do the task. When I give somebody something different or new, I tell them, listen, let's chill out, let's relax. This is not that kind of business here. We're gonna have fun. I totally have faith that you could do it, or I would never have asked you to do it. You're smart, you're capable. There's no reason for you to have these doubts and these fears. Let's just get in there, take a deep breath, and go do it. I could be like, here, let me do it, because I can do it better, I can do it faster. Yes, I can do it better, I can do it faster, because I've been doing it a long time. But they will never learn, and they will never get comfortable with it, and you will never get out from underneath doing all those jobs. So, don't bite the hand that is offering you help. It's not a good idea. Take suggestions, leave people to their jobs, and go do your own stuff and be a business owner, and then come back in, and don't forget to praise them. Give them praise for doing exactly what you asked them to do, or for exceeding what you asked them to do. So we'll see you all later. Bye.